Live. Good evening, everyone. Anyone rather out there.
Anyone and everyone.
Welcome to the live stream tonight. It's been a while, hasn't it?
Yes, it has, and we kind of have to apologize for that. I've been tied up with school lately, big time.
Yeah, with the holidays and school and work and all that, it kind of makes it hard for us to at least almost 3 years ago.
Was it that long?
Yeah, it was almost 3 years ago.
That,
Actually, I want to say it was 3 years ago.
look how far we've come.
Yeah. So that's what we're talking about tonight. We do apologize. We wanted to have some photo examples for you tonight. Unfortunately, though, we weren't able to get those in tonight. This one was kind of last minute impromptu.
Yeah, because we felt bad. We wanted to get out there, let you guys know we're doing okay, and we care about you.
Yep. So as you can see, obviously, by the way, have a new audio setup for live streams. Hopefully it sounds pretty good. This is our main podcasting setup, but we're going to use it for live streams as well. So hopefully it sounds decent. It should be way better than what we were doing before. So, yeah.
And, since it's impromptu, we just want to say thank you for being there with us, for being patient, waiting for us to get a live stream out, videos out. We just want to say thank you. And I believe we got some personal news we want to go to. So start off with you, Ben. What's going on in your life?
There's been a lot going on in my life, but really excited to announce, at least for me, and probably many of you don't care, but it's exciting for me, so I thought I'd share it with you. I did get a new car. It's something that I've been saving up for a long time, have been waiting for a long time. Finally was able to go out last Friday and get it. So that's really exciting. I got a 2019 Kia Forte EX.
Oh, nice.
And they're sweet little cars. Kia used to be kind of a laughing stock among car brands. And,
was it?
Yeah, reputable, automobile companies. But they've really stepped up their game. This car, heated and cooled seats.
Nice.
And
those are always nice.
Yeah, just all kinds of fun features. Dual climate control, touchscreen Apple Car. I also am a music person, so that's really exciting as well. All right, man. Your turn. What's going on?
Well, I have some very big news coming up this next month in April. In fact, to be April 17th, I have come down to my last and final test in my GED class, and that is math. If I can pass that, I will be completely done, and I can say goodbye to almost 2.5 years of being in GED.
Wow. Now, have you passed all your other tests, though?
I have.
You have? Good. Very good.
I want to talk a little about that. Sad about our people who feel like they're high school dropouts and they don't have proper motivation. For me, that time hit me around, I think it was December or early January. There was a test opening for English, which I took and passed. And then shortly, like 3 weeks later in February, I took another test for science and passed that. So the motivational drive has been really strong with me trying to get this done this year before summer. And I really don't want to make it to August because that'll make my 3-year mark in a GED class, but I really want to get it done this April 17th. So I'm really putting all my efforts into it right now.
Well, dude, I'm really proud of you just for taking that step, because that's a big thing.
Yeah, I mean, education is important.
It is. And the fact that, you're planning to go to college and do all that type of stuff, that's really a great thing.
So hopefully to anybody who's watching tonight, this will be a little motivational moment for you in your life, and then you can, get going on the ball and hit up the books, do what you need to do, get out of school. So I just hope that can be some sort of motivation to someone.
Yeah, get it done, right?
All right.
Get it done.
Get it done.
All right, now that we got our personal stuff out of the way, why don't we go to some photo news?
All right, what do we got going on in the photography world?
So there's been a lot of stuff going on, and if you follow any photography company, whether it's an Nikon or Canon or Sony or whatever, you know that there's been a lot of little announcements coming from different companies. Obviously, one of the biggest things for 518, and then also the 24-70 2.8, which was previously announced like a month ago. A 70-200 2.8 has just been shown, and all of that. So that's really exciting for the Nikon Z system. And you can find all those pictures. You can go to nikonrumors.co. That's where all of those images are at, where you can find what those lenses look like. Okay, and then also, obviously, Canon came out with the Canon Rp. That was about a month ago.
Was that right?
Which is basically their entry-level mirrorless camera. For those, it's one of the cheapest full-frame mirrorless cameras on the market right now.
Really?
Yeah, it's only $1,300.
That's news to me since I haven't been able to keep up with it lately.
Yeah.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, the Nikon Z, they're coming out with a brand new set of lenses just for that mirrorless camera.
Just for that mirrorless system, yeah.
That is pretty amazing. That's wild to me.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome because the Nikon Z mount is something that opens a lot of possibilities for different glass for Nikon.
Right. And,
you know, it's a bigger mount. So what Nikon's able to do is actually let more light into the lenses. They're coming out with a 58.95 Noct lens, which is going to be really exciting. The only bad thing about that lens is that it's probably going to be crazy expensive. And since it's manual focus, it's not going to be practical for everybody.
Right.
So, you know, there's estimates that it could cost upwards of $6,000 or more for that lens. They're trying to compete with like the Sony's, the Zeiss, not Sony, but the Zeiss Otis lenses, which they're some of the best manual focus lenses on the planet for photography.
Really?
Yeah, they're trying to compete with Zeiss there. So you've got that going on. Like I said, the Canon Rp. Recently, Panasonic released their full-frame cameras, the SL, or is it the SL? S1, S1R, I think is what they're called, whatever they are, SL, S1. They just came out, which is really great. Also, some big news. There is a company now working on a Canon to Nikon Z, Canon EF to Nikon Z adapter with full autofocus capabilities. This will be the first Canon to Nikon adapter that will have autofocus capabilities.
So what does that mean? Is that like a transformable lens from a Nikon that could fit onto a Canon, or vice versa?
Vice versa. So you could take your Canon lenses and put it on your Nikon Z camera and use them with autofocus and all of that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, you know, you're going to have more flexibility. Obviously, that's another upside to the new Z mount, is that you have more flexibility with other manufacturer lenses. So
that
that's
could be
pretty
really
awesome.
good for some people who like to pack light, travel light, you know, instead of having like two bodies of Canon and one Nikon, you can just easily transfer everything down to one Nikon.
Oh yeah, for sure. And like I said, the thing is, you can there's so many possibilities, and you know, there's some lenses I like from Canon that Nikon doesn't have. So what does that mean? Well, that means I can take my Canon lenses that I like and adapt them to my Nikon body, which is really, really awesome. So that's what we have going on kind of in the camera world right now. There's more to be announced in the future, obviously, but that's kind of what we have different creators, obviously, on YouTube. Not just us saying this, but the more competition, the better for us consumers, because that makes other companies want to be on top. So what do? They become more innovative. They develop more things that us consumers would want in cameras and lenses, whatever. So yeah, it's always great to have good, healthy competition in the marketplace. So yeah, it's really exciting.
I do agree, but it could be confusing for some beginners. You know, everybody's scrambling to get the best gear, or, you know, not sure what to get. You may get something that's lower than the competition, you know.
Sure. And let's remember that the best gear is the gear you like to use.
Exactly.
Just like the best guitar,
right?
Since I said guitar, is the guitar you use. If you like your guitar, if it sounds good, if it works for you, then that's the best instrument for you. So it's the same thing with your camera. If it works for you, if it produces great results, it's the best camera for you. So that's the best gear that you know is available for you. So
yeah. So pick to your heart, but make sure it's what you want. It's not like, oh, I want to be like this guy, so I got to get all the stuff he gets and then not know how to use it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? So it's good to pick what you want, what you feel is good,
what
you're comfortable with and can afford and all that.
And guys, remember, I'm only an email away, or Josh is an email away, whatever, comment on YouTube. If you guys want to know what we think would be the best beginner cameras or whatever. We actually have video for beginner full frame cameras in the Nikon system. But you know, if you want to contact us, we'd be more than happy to reach back out to you and try to give you a educated answer on what camera you should go with. So
in a more fuller detail.
yeah, exactly. All right, so let's get right into this main discussion right now, which is our first photo shoot.
Oh, let's go back 3 years.
Should we start from the beginning when I started my photography?
And then I came along. Let's do it.
Okay.
Take us back to the beginning.
All right. So I started BL photography, obviously BL Belingle, and that was about at least 3 years ago, I want to say, because we've been shooting together for about 3 years, maybe 4 years ago. I've been shooting almost 6 years now. So anyway, started BL photography, and Josh was just getting into photography as well at that time, and he started his own photography. Kind of wasn't necessarily a business, but it was kind of like you were wanting to work it into a business eventually.
Right, more like a beginner, not per se business, but more looking for a kind of what they call a watermark.
Yeah.
So
a name.
So whenever I shot anything, I could have full credit without, you know, worrying about someone trying to steal my stuff and claim it for their own.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
exactly.
it was more of a copyright issue thing at the time.
Right. So, what was it? It was backwoods photography or something. So anyway. He started Backwoods Photography, and I was already working on my own business at the time. And so basically what I said was, hey, I need an extra shooter. I need an assistant. I need someone that can, you know, produce results with me. Why don't you go ahead and join my business, BL Photography? And so you said, hey, that's a great idea.
Of course, because we were best friends and we still are today, but we were best friends. So to me, it's like, great, I'll get to, you know, hang out with Ben, you know, do official photography stuff, and it would be great. And it's been fun all the way up to this point, and I gotta say, I've enjoyed every moment of it.
Right. So we've been going for it, and anyway, so you joined my thing in 2016, I think is the year.
About midsummer, I believe.
Yep. And so that summer, the beginning of that summer, actually, end of June.
Yeah.
Beginning of July, somewhere around there, we shot our first shoot together, which was a wedding, which happened to be our first wedding as well.
Right.
And needless to say, that was a long day.
It was hot. And here's the thing. It was actually held the wedding on a lake, and it was hot that day. I don't know. It had to be like close 90s and up. And there was that, plus mosquitoes and stuff, so it was a pretty long day. And, of course, we're both stressing out, you know, because it's our first shoot, you know, trying to come and bring everything together, you know, because we're both... I remember that day very well. I took over 6,000 photos that day. Just because...
We did a little overkill. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, overkill because, you know, like, you got to shoot a lot just to make sure everything comes out great, you know.
We had almost 9,000 photos combined.
And I overshot myself a lot.
And mind you, most of those were duplicates or out of focus or whatever, you know, or pictures of the bride and groom walking back down the aisle, or the parents, or the bridesmaids, groomsmen, whatever. Quickly, before we continue, I want to read this comment from Rick. Rick said he came from Micro Four Thirds. He never owned a Nikon prior to the Z system, but he loves the Nikon Z. He says, I've owned Canon, Sony, and Olympus, and I just bought into the Nikon system. And he also bought a Z6 and a Z7.
Oh, good for him.
He loves them. He can't wait for the 12-bit ProRes RAW capabilities via the HDMI out, which is pretty awesome for filmmakers. It's one of the first mirrorless cameras, I think, that has that capability. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
And also, Rick, there is for... you know, also the IAF detection. That's what they're calling it. Basically, their answer to Sony's IAF. So basically, it will track the eye, and you'll be able to autofocus on the eye and take pictures.
That's pretty
based
awesome.
on focusing just on the eye, which is great for portraits, obviously. So, Rick, thank you so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. And thank you for, I don't know if you're subscribed, but if you are, thank you so much for that. So anyway, yeah, that's the thing that happened. So we took like 9,000 photos. And I remember when I first got everything ingested into my computer, I was like, oh my gosh. I ended up going to Josh and I told him, I said, look, we cannot do this ever again. I said, next wedding we do, we will not be taking 9,000 photos.
Thankfully, it was a friend, and they allowed us grace on our time frame, because I think
They did, yeah.
I think alone spent up at least a month just deleting photos alone before you even got to basic editing.
I've probably spent 3 or 4 days just sorting through photos.
I'm gonna hand it to you. No, I remember that day well. I started on my first DSLR camera, which was a step up from the point shoot, which I was used to at the time.
Mm-hmm. What was your point and shoot that you were using? Do you remember? It was a Nikon. But
it was a Nikon. I think it was one of those Coolpix Series ones. You know, it's one of those ones that has all the automatic settings on there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, pop-up flash.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I transformed from that into a DSLR, which was a pretty basic DSLR. I think it was what, the D3000. It was still good for settings.
It got you started.
It got me
pretty
started.
well. Yeah.
It worked well in sunlight, so it was good for that day.
Yeah.
I still got a good number of photos in focus, considering I haven't used a DSLR before. So
yeah.
But it was a good day, long but good.
It was long. I think we ended up spending about 12 hours there, and
Pretty
that was
close
from
to start to finish.
start to finish. We got there around, what was it, 8 or 9 o'clock? No, we
actually were in one place taking the groom shots of getting ready, and then we went to where the bride was, and we kind of got held up there.
Yeah.
And then finally, after spending maybe an hour there, we finally made it to the venue and quickly got some detail shots, but not too many. And then we had the whole wedding, and then the reception.
I would say the easiest part of that whole shoot was the wedding ceremony. And the reason for that is because there's really no stopping or posing or whatever. It's all just natural. Whatever's happening in real time, that's the shots you're getting.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we're portrait photographers.
Right.
And half the time when I'm around people, I just tell them, be yourself. Act like I'm not here. I'm just going to take pictures of you.
Yeah.
And that's it. Maybe smile at the camera from time to time, whatever. But I mean, I'm not great at posing. If you have any posing tips or anything like that, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about them. But anyway, what are you good at posing or?
I'm not too good at it, but I like attempting to do it because I can get pretty creative of stuff I've seen online and try to recreate it with people in our session.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it, even though it's hard for me to kind of visualize it. I still love attempting at it,
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's good, and that's a skill that you learn over time as well, just like anything else. So anyway, so we did that wedding. We ended up, we ended up spending like 12 hours there. Had a hard time doing the group photos. Everybody was getting tired. It was outdoors. And the actual reception was being held just literally 50 feet away from the ceremony.
Which was kind of hard because for the paid professional photographer on scene that day, of course, everybody else is running around with their phones and stuff, trying to get pictures of everybody, which is hard for us trying to keep, crowd control down because everybody's looking at everybody else's phone and nobody's looking at us.
Bingo.
So it's kind of hard to try to take authority in that. But we managed out pretty well.
So that's a tip for you guys. If you're doing your first wedding, the thing you need to do, firstly, if you can, is to do the photos before the ceremony.
Right.
The group photos. Because not all the guests are there. You can get them knocked out in 30 minutes, depending on how many people you have. But if you can't and you have to do it after the ceremony, you need to make sure that you take charge and tell people that they need to put their cell phones away for the time until the photographers get the shots they need, and then they can all do their own selfies or whatever they're going to do, their group shots on their phones, whatever. We don't mind that, but it does make a photographer's job really difficult to get the shot, get everybody looking at the camera when you have a million other people going, look at me, you know?
Right.
So anyway, yeah, it was kind of a pain, but we survived through it. So
One of the things that help in weddings afterwards is we got these personalized name tags that says we're the official photographers, you know.
that's a good tip as well. Getting your
That way people know, okay, he's the main guy. We need to back off, let them do their thing, because they're paid on the clock, on time,
Yeah.
you know, for what's going on, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So, so yeah, that's what you want to do. So that was our first shoot. That was our very first shoot together. Now, my very first shoot, geez, I don't remember. I'm trying to think of what I did. It was some portrait shoot. I remember that. Oh, you know what? Okay, I know what it was. I was in a band.
A band.
And so, yeah, this was probably about 2 or 3 months after I had just gotten my brand new camera, which was at the time a Nikon D7100. And so basically I did the shoot for my band that I was in. It was a Christian, I guess you would call it a rock band, Christian rock band. And so we took some photos with that. That was my very first shoot. What was your very first shoot?
I don't think I've had a official first shoot. I think the official first shoot I ever did, you know, with somebody was with you when we did that wedding. Beforehand, honestly, it was just, you know, messing around with the camera, you know, shooting pictures of family members and stuff, trying to get used to it, you know, just messing around with the settings. I've never really had a first official shoot using the camera that I had. No, most of it was just, you know, family stuff, which wasn't really, it was just, you know, messing around with the camera thing.
Yeah. So Rick asks us, just to detour for a minute, Rick asks us, what is our camera setup? So my camera setup, I have 2 cameras currently. I have a D850 and I have a Z6. And I'm shooting between 4 or 5 different lenses right now. I'm getting ready to pick up. I pre-ordered the 24-70Z 2.8. Ended up canceling it because a couple things came up, my car. And so anyway, I'm planning to repurchase it in May. But anyway, so my main setup is the D850, the Z6, and then I have a 70-200 FLED. I have a Sigma 51.4 Art, a Tamron 35 1.8 right now, and then I have a Nikon 8514 and a Nikon 2814E. That's my main camera setup right now. The main lenses I use are the 85 1.8 and the 24 or the 28 1.4. That's my main camera setup. What's your main camera setup?
The one I'm using right now is pretty simple. It's a Nikon D750. That I have a 50 millimeter, I believe it's 1.4 G, I believe it is. Also have a 105 millimeter with macro on it. That's pretty much what I've been using. I have intentions of buying other glass later, but just with school and everything, it's been kind of hard to budget and save up for stuff. But
Sure.
Later on, sometime in life, I'll get some more stuff, you know, maybe after a couple of weddings.
Yeah. We're hoping to get some more weddings this summer. But you know, the beauty of having a partner as well is that you can kind of bounce off each other's gear. So if you're lacking in gear, you know, you can kind of share back and forth. So that's really nice.
Yeah, and renting always helps too in you know, emergency situations. When we want particular glass for a particular shoot.
Yeah, exactly.
Renting helps a lot.
It helps a lot. So anyway, that's kind of our main camera setups. Thanks for asking that, Rick. We do enjoy having some interaction on these live streams, so thank you so much for interacting with us. Yeah, so your first shoot was, remind me one more time, it was more just kind of like family
just
stuff.
Just a family thing, and honestly
that.
Messing with the camera that I first got, because I actually bought it from a pawn shop. And then from there, I was just started messing with it, and it's the same one I used like a few months later when we did our wedding. You know,
Yep.
Came with kit lens. It was the 18 to 55 millimeter, which quickly went down to 4.5.
Yep.
And that was pretty much it. And then later on, I purchased what is it? It was a zoom lens. I think it was like from
50 to 200
50
or something.
200.
Yeah.
Also kit lens.
Yeah.
Just because I want to kind of get out there and get some zoom in there, so I wouldn't have to be, practically too close to someone. So I
Right.
get some distance in there, which also helped during the our wedding that we had there.
Yep.
I kind of want to review that wedding because I think the best part of it was the best picture that turned out for me was the cake, and that's kind of been my signature shots at all weddings. Like the best photo I get is that of the cake and the kiss.
Yeah.
Those ones always turn out the best for me. That's like my
Your signature shots.
my signature shots. I mean, everything else is still good, but it's like those are always spot on. Like those are the best results I ever have.
Yep.
Are the kiss and the cake.
Yep. That makes sense, man.
Which are my favorite to shoot
Yeah.
all time.
He likes the
Hands
detail
down.
shots for sure. You like the detailed shots.
I have a creative eye.
So okay, and so after we did the weddings, we kind of migrated into more engagement shoots. We also did some kind of senior shoots as well. Those were fun. I did one family shoot. I've done actually, let's see, is it one? I've done at least 2 or 3 family shoots. But yeah, so it's been really fun. I wish we could show you photo examples right now, just to see kind of the evolution, if you will, of our skills, not only from a photography technical standpoint, but from a post-production standpoint as well, or post-processing rather. But I mean, I'm sorry about that for sure.
Yeah, we want to kind of get like a montage from our beginning to where we are now. Just to kind of show you our photography journey, how far we've come, and what we've learned.
Yeah, for sure. And remember, guys, you don't have to start with all the big gear.
No.
We both had to work hard and save our money and purchase our gear. It wasn't like overnight. We're not rich in any way, shape, or form. We've just worked hard and have been blessed to be able to use the equipment we use now. So just stay encouraged about that. Don't worry about, I have to have the best gear in the world type of thing. It'll come. Just give it a chance. So.
Yeah, don't ever feel discouraged. I mean, I started off with D3000, and it took well over a year and a half before I got to the D7100. And then after that, it was, just a matter of time, about maybe another year before I got the D750. So.
Yeah, exactly.
So don't ever get discouraged. Things take time. Everything has its way of handling time, per se.
Yeah. So anyway, dude, I've really enjoyed talking about the first shoots, because it's kind of nice to reminisce about your origins, if you will, and just kind of discuss what's going on as far as that goes. So any final thoughts for tonight's live stream?
No, not really. I think we pretty much covered everything we have planned.
All right. Guys, I have been worn out lately. I'm trying to get new videos out for you guys. It may be another week until I can get a video out, but the sun is coming back out. The flowers are blooming. The grass is starting to become green again. So hopefully I'll be able to get outside, shoot some more tip videos soon, and get those out as soon as possible. But once again, as always, we appreciate your support of this channel, of us, and we please continue to ask you to support this channel, because you're the reason why we get to do these live streams, why we get to create content that hopefully is helpful to you. So thank you guys so much for joining us today, and we hope you all have a great day and a great week. And yeah, just thank you so much, and we hope God richly blesses you.
And Belingle out.
Yeah, Belingle out.